Right. Splintered City, session 2. Last we ended with dragging what looked like an FBI agent away from Greenfield to a location in South downtown. There's an industrial hall in which we will start this time. So there's a cheap plastic chair, a guy in a suit, duct tape to the chair. It was nighttime, so there's but it's also raining. So there's some of the street lights outside coming in through shutters that have been only half closed, high up on the walls, creating those sort of like blaze of yellow light inside the otherwise darkened industrial sort of storage space that we find ourselves in. There's some pallets around, sort of logistical detritus and clear signs of basically someone having used this as a spot to lay down for a bit. So there's some rusted cans in a corner next to a crate. Probably like a rotted, awful sleeping bag just decaying on the floor. Cigarette stumps, and worse still. We have our unconscious. It's your everyman, right? It's anyone off the street into a generic black suit, black tie, white shirt, tied duct tape to this chair, and the three of you are there as well. He's currently still out cold, and we can pick up from there. And let's say I forget exactly what we were saying the time was, but it's probably, I say, like
it's the middle of the night, I believe.
Like I think it was after midnight. So
yeah.
Let's say there's still several hours before dawn. Not that you're vampires or anything, but
Well, Wash is currently appears as Basker Singh, so I'm sort of rolling up my sleeves of my shirt. I'm I have my eyes on the captive FBI agent, and I say to my fellows, I believe, and any of you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I am the most qualified when it comes to interrogations.
I'm sort of stood there in my dirty homeless man's jacket, in my Morgan cover, big sort of straggly grey beard, miscellaneous stainage down my clothing, and I just give a bit of a nod as I'm sort of rubbing my beard, and I'll probably have a bit of a, because I see as of the end of last session I used my my angel empathy to sort of like understand a bit more about this sort of angel, so I'm quite happy for Mix Wash to take the lead on this. But if we get to any point where my sort of angel empathy or the information that I've worked out can be useful, I'll just sort of like whisper in the ear to like provide any aid I can. But I'm quite happy for Wash to take the lead on this interrogation.
Same time, Zach is sort of pacing up and down. He's got his arms crossed over his bantee, trying to almost reduce his visualness in front of this guy, realizing he is exposed here. He is much more vulnerable in this situation. If this person remembers his face, he's kind of getting a hat and like pulling it down a little bit. Yeah, man, you do your thing. You do your thing. This is your area.
Thank you.
I could quiz him on the 80s like electronica scene, but when it comes to getting information, this is not going to be my forte.
Well,
do you need to be alone, or can we stay? What's the play here?
Just stay back for now.
Okay.
So I believe you took his gun. He had a pistol, and he
I
also had he had a like an FBI badge. which basically was just the badge, and any sort of identity numbers were kind of like pixelated junk.
Yeah.
And there's no picture, there's just junk. Other than that, he doesn't really have much on him. He still has, because they all had earbuds. He still got that, but if you took his badge and gun, basically the earbud is the only item he has.
I presume that we would have attempted to remove that before we came this way, or because again, I think we think that that's how he's being tracked and or controlled.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, previously, Wash took the badge and the gun from this guy, and I took the badge and the gun from the guy that we dumped down the garbage chute and disposed of.
Yeah.
If he's got a car keys, just throw them my way.
Does not. So
shame.
Did you fiddle with the earbud here or on location?
I mean, at the time, I don't think we specifically spoke about the earbud, although my presumption would have been that we would have made sure, because I believe the angel empathy ability that Street used kind of called that out, that was part of the whole
so
connection.
That was Nightingale. Nightingale was listening into the transmission.
Right.
Is how we figured out that
I'm sorry,
they were doing something.
It was that one, right. So I would assume that at the apartment, we would have dumped that.
So
I think just in case.
Yeah, that was probably one of those things where like, oh shit, because you tugged on it a bit because it's fairly snug in the old ear hole there, and you pull it out, and there's a stream of blood. It's not like a violent torrent, but it just keeps coming as you pull out the earbud.
So we're doing that here at the warehouse.
That happened while you were like packing him up. Like, better take that out so we don't get trapped.
Got it.
Fuck, and now we need to clean this up.
Right.
But, yeah. So he bled a lot from the ear. He's basically got like a ton of dried blood
like
on the side of his.
On the one side of his
all of his side.
So I will pull up either another chair or perhaps even cartons, if that's all that there's there, something to sit on. I'll pull that up in front of the gentleman, and I'm going to gently rouse him. I'm not trying to do any harm or be provocative. So I want to rouse him to consciousness, though.
Yep. It takes a bit of effort. He is very groggy, but he's sort of moving on his own. There's movement in the eyes a bit, but he's clearly unfocused.
Hello, are you with us?
He's sort of moving and moving his eyes specifically, sort of like trying to figure out where the voice is coming from. Like he obviously doesn't know where you are, but he hears you.
Well, you are not doing so well, my friend.
It's like,
come on, wakey.
He blinks hard a couple of times. The eyes start to focus sort of in your general direction.
Yes, very good. Very good.
But he's sort of like, and there's a like pink froth coming from his mouth.
That's not normal, I don't think. Well, can you tell me your name?
And he that brings him some sharpness to the eyes, and he's sort of meaningfully looking around as if in thought rather than disoriented. But he still is just like he spits, and there's like a like halfway coagulated like clot of blood onto his knee. Yeah. So he's blinking hard and now staring at you, not saying anything intelligible.
These things are so fragile. I don't know how they've come to dominate this planet like they have. Can I examine him? I mean, is he physically capable of answering me, or?
You think so, yeah. You think so, yeah. But there's something else that maybe is wrong with him. Like he doesn't seem to, like he doesn't have the damage to prevent him. It's something else.
So he's either consciously not answering me or trying to answer me, or
or there's some other damage that you can't see with your
Sure, which obviously, given that when we pulled out that earplug, there was a lot of blood. That's never a good thing coming out of the head.
No.
I don't suppose any of you are qualified to medically examine humans, are you? It's not my forte.
I don't know about being medically qualified, but I can give him an internal examination if that will help.
Yes, please. He seems to be not right in the head.
I have some medical training.
Would you please?
Sometimes you've got to patch guys up on the road.
Well, I'll let you have a look at him first. My technique's a little bit more invasive, so if it's not necessary.
Okay. I do have a specialization in this area, Grand Cogmaster, which I don't know if applies. I have emergency care, so if this person...
Oh, yeah,
like
he could use some of that. If you want to try and patch him up, that's something you can do.
Okay.
I just need him functional enough to speak, not to try to escape.
Okay, I'll see what I can do with that. What would that be?
Medicine and intelligence, I think, probably.
Okay. I will get the bonus for the specialization.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Bear with me. If I kill him, just don't get upset.
I'll try not to.
You're probably not going to kill him with like a Mickey Mouse, Band-Aid. Okay, one success. So you basically, because do you have a kit with you?
That I didn't specify. I did.
But would you carry around like a first aid thing?
A very basic one, you probably.
Okay, roll me 2 more dice.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay, so well, you patch him up. You figure there's something wrong with like his ear structure, maybe, but you don't have the equipment to investigate him. But you sort of clean him up. You patch him up as best you can. Maybe give him some meds, and as he sort of knocks back, I think you probably have some pills to give him. So he knocks them back and sort of like inches forward as he swallows, sort of like jumps forward almost on the with the chair at you. You're still standing next to him. And are you shooting him, Mr. Street? Or
now, come on, that'd be a very hasty thing to do, wouldn't it? Really?
Not in character at all.
Yeah, it would. So he's sort of like he's dealing with this, like he's not resisting at all. He's like, oh yeah, you're taking care of me, and then given the pills down the hatch, and then he's just sort of like he's not like but he's like
I'm not going to shoot him, but I'm going to basically step up behind where Nightingale is. So like my sort of hand with the gun will be like on Nightingale's shoulder. So like if he does try and go for him, I can just
none of that.
As you point down the gun and watch like none of that, Mr. Chair, as we call him now. So Agent Man just says very, very frantic. It's like Tarmac.
What's
as like staring as it was that was like a revelation from on high. Staring at each of you in turn is like asphalt.
Yes, I know these words mean things individually. What do you mean by them?
He's like closing his eyes as if he has the world's worst migraine, and he immediately starts bleeding from the nose, and he's like, concrete.
Oh boy.
He sort of leans back in the chair.
Oh no, I don't think this one is working anymore.
I'm going to say in Finnish to Mr. Street, as I'm like sort of looking, trying not to make eye contact with this guy. Do you think that's some kind of code word? Is he triggering something? Should we be?
I presume we're not sensing any like outflowing of angelic power from him.
He is not using any magic that you can detect passively, at least, which a lot of your like God Machine shit does pick up passively.
Still with like my hand on like Nightingale shoulders are like pointing the gun at this guy, but like, I'm not sensing anything.
He's sort of like shovel. Gravel. And there's just both nostrils just like gushing blood down the front of his.
I didn't do anything crazy with him, man. He should be able to talk normally. Like I didn't give him any drugs, not the good kind, anyway.
I believe it's whatever our angel friend did to him that is causing this at this stage.
His like eyes flare open and he's like, Dylan Jones, tarmac, and he's like, and up comes another sort of coagulated clump of blood.
Right. Okay. I would like to spend one of my aether points, and I would like to activate my aura sight demon form ability.
Partial manifestation, are we?
Indeed.
Okay, so
And I'm also, because I can get two for the price of one. I'm going to activate sense the angelic, because I'd quite like to know if any angels are like coming to like whoop our asses.
Probably handy.
So basically, my eyes turn sort of like blue, and like a very pale light comes out of them, and there's like strands of like copper, like fiber optics, almost like mixed in with my beard and my hair.
So partial transformations are indeed a compromise. So
That's fine.
The compromise roll is, so the base for this is wits and manipulation. You get a modifier based on a couple things, one of which is your cover, which is currently 1. Okay, so that's a -2. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. So -2. And then partial transformation, this is quite lenient when it comes to compromises. You get a +1 bonus per ability that you're not manifesting. So everything that you're not using is how many bonuses you get.
All right, okay, let me just tot it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I took the extra demon form. So I'm on +4.
+4, okay. Yeah. And you're doing this. It's not egregious because the person witnessing this, the human in the room, kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
so +4 to your wits and manipulation.
4 successes.
4 successes. Wonderful. Okay, what does this mean? So exceptional, and I do need to go back and check, but I do believe that's still 5 successes.
Yes, it is. Yeah, for exceptional.
Yeah. So this is a success.
Yeah.
And so you've come through the compromise intact. You might be spooked by the close call, but you can cope. So you need to either, option number 1, you pick one of the following conditions: guilty, shaken, or spooked. Or option number 2, you roll for a temporary glitch. So these guilty, shaken, and spooked, they give you a thing for until you resolve.
And give me that glitch roll.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a check for temporary glitches, and here we go. Okay, so we're rolling your primum, so 2.
Okay, yeah.
And quick question as a point of because when you resolve conditions that can generate, well, in our experience, will resolving temporary glitches do similar, or was it? I guess
no, temporary glitches you don't even resolve; they just go away. So it's not something you can affect actively unless you have a technology to purge it, which none of you do.
Well, it's a failure on that roll anyway.
Yeah, failure. So you manifest a minor glitch. Okay, so let's see about this then. So it's going to last you for 2 scenes. So let's keep that in mind collectively. So it lasts 2 scenes, and I'm just gonna actually, well, yeah, let's randomize this bit. So I'm gonna roll a 1d3, to see which kind it is. So it is, in fact, a brand. Interesting. So I will say that right. So it's a brand type glitch. So for the next 2 scenes, you will smell of burnt copper. So there's an odor on you of burnt copper.
Fine by me. Okay, so I've activated my characteristics. Obviously, the sense the angelic one's only important if something like angelic goes off, which I assume you'll let me know about. So let's see how this works. So it's a wits investigation roll to see like what I get. So let me make that first. I'm going to spend a willpower because obviously this is quite important. Two successes.
Okay.
So success, the player asks the storyteller 1 question per success about an individual. The answer should reflect the demon's ability to read subtle shifts in body language as well as supernatural threats. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume, and feel free to tell me I can't do this, but I'm going to assume that because we've been like basically knocking around for a year, that these guys also have a rough idea what I can do with this power. So just to clue you in as like players, basically the sample questions it gives are: what is this person's mood? What are they afraid of right now? What is their vice or one of their aspirations? Are they being controlled by someone else? And are they a supernatural creature? Or who here does this person want to hurt the most? So I can ask 2 of those. So obviously if you guys have got any input on which ones you'd rather ask, I'll be looking particularly towards Wash, because Wash is leading the investigation.
Does it have to be those questions?
No, those are sample ones, but it has to be something I could feasibly work out by either perceiving supernatural threads or via their body language. So like for instance, where you're like, oh, who do they want to hurt most here? You pick up like subtle sort of like hostile glances towards the person, or if they're being controlled by someone, you can see like the threads of like supernatural energy.
Wash would suggest their current emotional state and if they're being controlled by a supernatural force would probably be the best ones.
Okay,
given the situation.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we'll go for what is the person's mood, and is this person being controlled by somebody else? And apparently for the are they being controlled? You see like coloured threads like leading away in the vague direction of where this person, force, whatever is. And the mood's just like you see a brief flash of emotion or like subtle tells that you pick up.
So there are no threads leading from this individual. And
Pupper's got to get its say in.
fucking territorial animals.
Mm.
So no threads, and the mood is if well in a word, sort of shattered. Really. Mood is sort of annihilation, the experience of annihilation.
So they feel like a husk, essentially, completely hollowed out. And,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll lean in next to Wash, sort of like taking the gun down, and I'll whisper that to you.
Oh no, it's not good. Not good at all. I'm not sure if we're going to get much more out of this one before they expire. Excuse me.
Nails.
Quick question. With the knowledge I sort of gained from the angel empathy and sort of being able to like place myself in an angelic sort of mindset, obviously it seems to us that he's just babbling, but there is like a distinct like hardware / construction theme to what he's saying. You know, it's like concrete, asphalt, shovels.
I've written it all down in order as he said it.
Exactly. So I'm going to sort of, like I said, with the angel empathy and trying to put myself in his mindset, I'm going to try and puzzle out, is there some sort of connection between these things that maybe we're like not seeing?
I mean, it definitely does sound like a code, but not one that we recognize.
So I would say that that's a thing you can pursue, but you can just get it for free right now. That you don't have enough, not quite yet. Like you have enough if you can connect the dots, but currently I don't know that you necessarily can.
We got to keep him talking then.
Yeah, but if you get more dots, then like this is clearly a pattern. You're right on that, but you don't know what the pattern is.
Then I will continue trying to solicit answers simply by just asking questions. You know, what's your name? What's your profession? That sort of thing. Just gonna keep asking him questions to see what spills out.
Yeah,
Apparently, quite literally from his mouth and face.
A lot of what spills out is, and the copper scent is not only because of Mr. Street here, because the apparently this individual who is not doing so well is just leaking his vital fluids and just keeps like shaking his head, struggling to clear his vision. And well, you're saying you're going to ask, oh, what is your profession?
Yeah, I'll just keep trying to provoke answers by asking him questions.
So he sort of
routine ones, basically. You know.
He sort of starts clenching his teeth to the point where like he starts slurring to the point where it doesn't really make any sense. And you're asking like a further question, but he squeezes out the answer to an earlier one through his gritted teeth, and that's because he has broken some of them. And so as he sort of like spits out the answer, there's also some bone matter that comes out as he's like whiz dot, and then
he said whiz dot.
Yeah, and that is something that all of you recognize. It's not so much whiz dot as it is WSDOT, which is Washington State Department of Transport. And that sends him into a shock. Mr. Nightingale can tell this clearly, so he's starting to go into like he spasms. Some
Nightingale, would you mind?
Does it look like he's physically going to expire?
He's going into a state here.
He's breaking now. You should repair him. And,
I have a more intrusive form of healing. It could cause complications if observed, but I could try to restore him using other methods.
So his eyes are rolling back and his like jaw hanging slack.
Well,
Well, whatever you're going to do, I suggest you do it quickly if you're going to do it.
Okay.
Indeed.
Okay, I walk over to him, pull out a cigarette, put it in my mouth, go to light, then realize I need my hands, put it back down, and I is he still sat in his chair?
Yeah. No, he's not standing up.
I'll steal the cigarette and stand there smoking it.
I'll light it for you.
Grab him around the neck.
Cheers.
Sort of like bring him up to eye level, and
he's completely like devoid of any muscle tension.
And you sort of see I'm going to use on the mend my embed. And you sort of see coming out of my hand is like these faint, like geometric lines sort of going around him. Reconfiguring him. Be healthy.
You have the technology.
We can rebuild him.
Hopefully.
Let's see if we can. So that's wits and medicine.
It is wits and medicine. Yep. No modifiers or anything. Nothing good or bad.
No, unless you have things on
I
your
don't
sheet.
think so. Just in case you wanted to impose something. Okay. Wits, medicine. Let's do this. Yeah. Success.
So a success says, choose one. All the target's bashing damage heals in 15 minutes, or all of the target's lethal damage heals overnight, or all of the target's aggravated damage changes to lethal. Given target can only benefit from one use of on demand at a time. Okay. Well, that's all the pertinent information right there.
Am I able to know if he's suffering from which of those three?
Because
Because if he's not suffering,
that's
if
not a
he's not
part of
suffering-
the embed. So that's information you don't have, but
okay.
he is, like, your estimation of him is like, hey, there's something really wrong with him. But you don't know how bad that is. It's not good, though. He's lost a lot of blood, is what I'm saying here. And
I think I'm aggravated. I don't put. That's probably what would kill him if it not dealt with.
aggravated does kill regular people, yeah, if left to exist.
So I guess that's the option I'll have to go with. If that's the.
Mind you,
Don't-
what you're doing there is you're transferring aggravated to lethal, and lethal is still lethal to people.
Yeah. But if he's got aggravated damage and I only deal with the lethal, he's still gonna die.
I was going to say I'd suggest possibly going for the lethal,
Lethal.
because it's like if he's already got like a shed load of like lethal that's rolled over into aggravated, downgrading it to lethal won't really help him.
Mhm.
So if he's already taken,
He needs at least one box of healthiness.
yeah.
I think,
If he's taken that much ag, like, we're not going to be able to do anything about it. Whereas if it's only lethal and you downgrade it, that might do enough.
he'll live long enough to get him to a hospital if we want to, or
Yeah.
whatever. Basically,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
'Cause
I'll go
you
lethal.
will clear some boxes with the all lethal.
I will go with the all lethal then.
Yep.
And hopefully that will bring him at least somewhat around.
So outwardly, not a lot changes, but he stops leaking fluids for the moment. But he is out again. His eyes rolled back, and they never rolled back. But you're confident that he is going to remain extant for some time.
And you see when I pull my hands away, it leaves like a geometric outline of my hands as it slowly fades into his skin. And kind of looking fresher.
will he live?
For the next 5 minutes, likely.
Well,
Beyond today, I do not know what has been done to him.
I hesitate to make the suggestion, but in this instance, we can't exactly tell what this human remembers or doesn't remember about us. And remember, they were at my home, not yours. So I don't like to make the suggestion.
I think
but
while you're saying that, I'm going to like do that thing where you flip out like the barrel of your gun, and I'm just going to like check how many bullets there are in it, and then
Perhaps-
flip it back in again.
maybe allowing nature to take its course is all I was going to suggest. Mr. Street, I know that your proclivities tend you towards more direct and final solutions, but we could just simply walk away. Again, I hate to suggest it. This is a living thing here, but
I'd agree with you more if Nightingale hadn't just healed him, because as far as we know, he might make a full recovery, and then who knows what he's going to get up to. Whereas if he hadn't been healed, he'd probably die from his wounds, in which case, yeah, walking away.
Well, I'm
If
not
we
happy
walk away
being
now,
judged
we know
during
what's gonna happen.
executioner. I try to get out of that gig. If you know what I mean.
I don't disagree. But we bring him to a hospital, and then maybe he remembers nothing, or maybe he remembers everything, and then suddenly I have a SWAT team at my door, filled with angels.
Well, look at it this way. It's your ass on the line. It was at your place, so it's going to hit you most heavy where you live if he does remember. So I'd say the decision's yours. Wash.
His body may recover, but his mind may be gone by.
We can't know that, and we have no idea what our friends can extract from him if he's still alive.
Well, like
And
I
any
say,
of you
balls
with memory?
in your court, Wash. You're going to be hit hardest by it if he does remember it, or he reveals what's happened to the enemy.
Do we have any pros to leaving him alive, bringing him to a hospital?
Well, if he does survive and we get to him after he's like conscious, maybe we can get some more out of him. But that's a maybe.
Yes.
And we don't know exactly how long it's going to take or what he's going to remember, so there's a lot of conditionals in there.
And of course, we know the cons are me rejoining the hive. If this thing remembers and is able to tell our old friends.
That's it. If he reconnects to whoever he's been in contact with, which he obviously isn't now because I'd have sensed it, but if he hooks back up into that network,
we are going to take care of that particular angel. I was highly sincere when I said I was going to eat its heart.
Didn't doubt you for a second.
Perhaps maybe instead of worrying about this poor sack of meat, we simply remove the root of the problem. If the God machine hasn't changed much since we left its cold embrace, then perhaps only the angel sent to do this particular operation knows anything about this person. If we just simply kill the angel, perhaps maybe
easier said than done.
As we know, Wash, like the left hand of the God machine doesn't always know what the right hand's doing.
Exactly.
He's got poor music taste, that's for sure.
I can't bring myself to do it unless there's no other option. And I seem to have another option, which is simply just kill the angel, which I want to do anyway. So,
all right then. So if we're just going to go and kill this angel, which as Nightingale said, probably ain't going to be all that easy. What do we do with this cheeky chap here while we're doing that?
Well, he's going to die if he doesn't go to hospital, right, Nightingale?
I'd say so. His body is recovering, but his mind.
In which case, why don't we just like dump him near the entrance to the A&E?
Indeed.
Let them take care of him, and what will be will be.
And then we can always find him later. It's not like he's going to be getting up and walking away anytime soon.
Well, we hope not.
Well, if it comes to it, I will handle it, of course. But for now, Angel done, yes? We are agreed?
Sounds good. Obviously, if you do need any help handling it, just let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm going to pick up one of his teeth.
Sure.
And just put it in my pocket.
Oh, if there's another one of them, I know a bit about the dark arts. I'll have one of them and a bit of that blood. Why not?
So, you watch your friends root around in the viscera.
I hold myself apart from this gruesome display.
Ain't got a speciality about for witchcraft for nothing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eventually you're gonna be rattling the old bone dice.
Yeah, bone dice. Yeah,
that's right.
We need to find him again.
Any advantage? Now, regarding what the man was saying, I think I have a notion as to what he's saying. I think he is referring to some sort of construction project, most likely at an airport, being ran by the local Department of Transportation, and possibly either being managed by this Dylan Jones that he mentioned, or there is a Dylan Jones involved in something.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what makes you think it's at an airport?
Well, he mentioned tarmac was one of the first words that he mentioned.
Well, yeah, but you know, you just find tarmac at airports, do you?
Typically. I mean, I'm just saying as a place for us to start.
He mentioned was it the Department of Transportation?
He did. So it's one of the last things we got out of him. Let's believe
that's-
where he spit out those teeth you were collecting.
I tell you what might be worth checking out. Obviously, we're looking into this like thing at the radio station, right? It might be worth checking out. Is there any like construction, any like sort of road works or anything like that going on in the area? You know, maybe they're going to use that as a cover to like get him close to the target.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good.
That's what I do.
Well,
Well,
that
no,
was
I
more.
just shoot them, but
It was more your area, though. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Your mind is, of course, more programmed, shall we say, for these things. Well, then I think that's what we should do, and we still have some time. So.
Yep. So we're looking at, let's say, if we're in 3 in the morning here.
We're looking for tomorrow at midnight, so we have
midnight. Yeah.
a little under 24 hours to kind of sort some stuff out. So.
Yeah. So insert the 24 like
Yeah.
countdown clock here.
Boop. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do we do?
okay. So I think first of all, obviously I can do this if I need to. I can switch into my other cover, but sort of standard like internet research. See if there's any sort of road works or like traffic alerts or delays around the radio station. Also check if there's any like major sort of transport projects going on in the city, because those things always disrupt traffic and there's always like travel notifications and stuff like that, which should make it, assuming it's got like a legit front and it's not entirely clandestine, that should make it possible to locate the details.
Yeah. So we don't need to roll for any of this because this is public information. The Department of Transportation is indeed in charge of all of this shit. And while you don't specifically find a lot of, your pattern sense doesn't necessarily go off anywhere near like central Seattle, which is where the radio is. It's sort of, let me look at this. So it's like a block or two south from the Seattle Space Needle. So it is quite in the central area of Seattle, and you don't really notice a lot there. But on the website of the Department of Transportation, you do find a lot of roadworks. So they're repairing, actually just rebuilding, and also constructing new roads and bridges, other sort of roadside projects, all the fuck over town. In the Seattle, like greater Seattle area, seems like it's like mushrooms after rain. And there's you find a source for it. It's basically like, oh, like we've got for this sort of budgetary period, there's a large increase in the greater Seattle area infrastructure budgeting. So there's a lot of maintenance work being done in this particular period, and also like new construction to bring in facilities and greater access to like different communities around the greater Seattle area. So it's a lot. It's a lot more than you would perhaps expect, but they do say like we're actually pouring money into this right now.
Okay, so quick question. Looking at, if I sort of plot these places where they're happening on a map of Seattle, do they follow any sort of like route? Like, my immediate thought was maybe they're doing these to basically block off the traffic so they can like get something along a particular route without it being observed. If I sort of like plot these, do they appear to follow any like particular transit route or anything like that?
So, So your thought of like restricting access to provide like a certain...
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, just as an example, like maybe if they wanted to move like a sensitive piece of infrastructure or a sensitive asset that they didn't want lots of mortals seeing, if they're suddenly like, oh yeah, we're repairing all these roads, and they sort of block off all the ways that lead to this like one sort of route through the city, they could move something without it being observed by a lot of people.
So you're thinking of this and mapping out the. How do you do this, by the way? Like, where do you keep your records? Well, and actually, no, because you can just remember that shit.
don't
I
remember.
forgot. But you can just remember where all the things were.
Yeah,
So,
but basically Mind Palace style, I'll be like looking at the big map of Seattle on Google Map, and then I'll be like, right, okay, this is happening here. And in my sort of mind, it'll be all these like dots appearing on the map, so like red dots on the map. And I'll be trying to do, you know, when you like do distribution diagrams and you're trying to like trace the sort of like the distribution through them, it'd be similar to that.
Yep. So in this montage, we have Mr. Street on the old computer in the office. Sort of every time you zoom back, like 10% more zoom back, or zoom out rather. There is more dots that appear on your Mind Palace map of this. And this is something that all demons notice. You notice the pattern whenever it's there. You might not know what it is, but you can tell a pattern for what it is. And what you're looking at currently is either it's one absolutely gigantic one comprised of all of this information that you're currently piecing together, or it's multiple large ones. And you can't quite tell their shape yet, but you start to formulate this idea of either this roadworks map that you've just built is one giant piece of infrastructure, and you started to think what that would be because it's huge. It covers the Seattle metro area. So it's giant in size, gargantuan even. Or it's multiple very large ones still, and that doesn't really make it any better. It's still bad fucking news either way. But maybe it's not the apocalypse immediately. Maybe it's just the 4 horsemen. But you know.
Okay, so now I've got that information. Let's say it's either one humongous, like gargantuan piece of infrastructure, or it's lots of smaller in relative terms. Pieces of infrastructure, still huge, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of, in my mind, I'm going to mentally add onto that diagram, like in a different sort of mental color, the location of the Seattle like radio station, KLFC Seattle, and basically just see, does that fit in with any of the other like blobs of patterning. So what I'm basically trying to work out is, do I think any of these potential pieces of infrastructure, the pattern that's building up, would they benefit from like the radio station being destroyed or some sort of dramatic change taking place there? Because I'm thinking like maybe they're trying to arrange this like assassination, like terrorist attack, as part of like the larger plan to somehow enable this infrastructure.
Right. So, give me because now we're moving on to specifics here.
Yeah.
Give me a wits and investigation thing as you're piecing this puzzle together.
Oh, can I assist him in some way?
Well, while this is all going on, I presume this is taking
this is like montage several hours until we get to the evening.
As this is going on, Wash would be doing some angel hunting. Okay. So I have a specialty in angel lore as it comes out, and what I'd like to do is I'm looking for angel sign in the immediate area of, first and foremost, where I live, and then I want to also then do so around the area between here and the basically the radio station, because I would love to be able to find the angel first, if possible, or at the very least get more of a sense of perhaps their plan or positioning, because I want to eat their heart.
So for your angel hunting, there's not that really goes on at Greenfield currently.
Seems quiet.
Which, so whatever that is, and you do remember that as the angel looked at the 3 of you in the room, it didn't
It was,
erode your cover.
Yeah.
So maybe that's relevant, maybe not, but there's nothing that you can tell from maybe hanging out a couple of hours, like stalking your own apartment building.
Yeah, I would do the nice good circuit once, twice, maybe.
So you don't really pick anything up there. So whatever it was, the eye has passed on, maybe, because you can't pick up anything really out of the ordinary.
That makes sense, though, for what we know of the God Machine. It had a specific task. The angel came here and did the task, and then
and the angel was very, like, if you look at only what the angel did, comes in, uses its gifts to get into the gun locker, takes the rifle, goes away.
Yeah.
It's extremely in line with the kind of work you guys used to do. So it's basically you're sort of assured that Greenfeld is kind of okay right now until the next incident happens, I guess. But
of course,
it's okay for now. You pick up as you stalk around Central, and you know that the radio station, you know where it is. It's not hidden at all. There's a thing on the door of the apartment building because it's on the top floor of an apartment building. There's a thing on street level, which is this like big fucking, banner on the wall. It's like, let me refer to my notes here so that I get it right. So it is in fact KLCF 66.5, and it's just laden with the kind of kitschy conspiracy theory, sensationalist stuff that you got sent from Mr. Street earlier when he was doing the sort of
the initial background.
So it is this like, it's quote unquote a news source for alternative theories of things. And you as you're there's a guy who exits the building. You stake it out for, let's say, half an hour just to see like what happens generally in the area. So there's a young guy who exits the area. You don't think much of him because it's an apartment building. You can't really tell people apart yet. Comes back like an hour later. He's unwrapping a kind of candy, which makes you instantly think, oh, maybe he went for lunch because it matches with the time frame he's been apart, and now he's coming back with some candy. So he's heading back in there. You figure out maybe this guy works in the apartment. This is you making lots of leaps of logic, which you're immediately rewarded for because you stand close enough to him to get a waft of ether. So you don't get a point of it, but this guy leaks ether. He not really leaks. That's a wrong word. That's something you guys do because you're team. But he there's a waft of ether on him, which means or could mean a variety of things. Could be he's a demon, using whatever it is that he's using, but you can't tell that. He could be something else as well, including a part of infrastructure, because people can also be part of infrastructure, and infrastructure can and does in fact gather ether.
That's what I suspected the FBI agent basically was. He was just a puppet inside whatever cover or infrastructure that Angel operates in.
So this guy basses you and you're like, well then.
Okay, so before we switch back to anyone else, what I'll do is I will shoot out a text to like our group chat, be like, I will say, smell something funny over at our favorite DJ. Swing by as soon as you can.
I'll fire you a text back sort of pretty promptly, assuming that I've not found anything because I got 0 successes on my investigation roll. You're
not really seeing anything, and that's also saying something. That's saying that the patterns that you're starting to put together don't really seem to converge or involve the radio station specifically that you can tell.
Yeah, so I'll fire a message back saying I've plotted the current roadworks taking place. cannot currently see how pattern involves the radio station. Will be along shortly. And
I'll
obviously,
also fire back, as not to confuse. I'll just say anything about D. Jones.
as he says that, I'll get on the. I'll see if there's any sort of D Jones connected with any of the roadworks or the station that I can find via publicly available information.
Let me make a roll here. Okay, so you can find a D Jones works for WizDot.
So what I'll do is, if presumably there's like a link to a page that like has his details on.
Yeah, it's actually yeah. Let's go with that. So you find his Facebook page.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just going to respond, and I'm just going to I'll have a look at it myself, but I'm going to send the link to Wash's mobile phone, so that he can have like a look at it on his phone if he needs to get the information.
Yeah. So you find his Facebook page, and it's the guy you left in the industrial hall.
Yeah. So obviously, I'll make sure that both Wash and Nightingale are aware of that.
Yep.
And then my plan is, once obviously I'm remembering all this because eidetic memory. My plan then is basically just to roughly how far away am I from where Wash is? Like, is it walking distance, or do I need to get a cab? Or
you could walk. It's several blocks away, but it's like you're sort of adjacent to the central, so it's faster going by cab. But
okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll leave my sort of like detective agency after I'll finish up a little bit of paperwork to do with like my more like mundane cases and whatever. I'm going to slip out into the alleyways, change back into my Morgan cover, my 1-dot cover, and then I'm going to making my way on foot as rapidly as I can. I'm going to, although yeah, I'll make my way on foot as rapidly as I can to where Wash is.
Yep.
I'm not muted. For a second I thought I was muted. I'm gonna maintain my cover for a bit. I'm gonna go around some local bars, trying to find work as a roadie, because obviously that my last employment isn't available right now. So I'm gonna try and maybe
get a job.
Get a job. Yeah, do some pro bono like bar work.
Okay,
like hang out.
let's roll for you to get a job.
Yeah, if only it was that easy in real life.
And just as a pitch, my Maria cover is a bartender and knows bartenders and things like that. So if that helps you with your role,
yeah, I'll say I
at
know
all,
Maria and stuff. And
yeah, feel free.
Okay, so
I always pay my tab. No trouble. Great taste in music.
Clean car,
Okay.
ish.
I'm actually looking for a car at the moment. That's what I want. I need a new van.
So I think it's going to be manipulation and
Streetwise?
Well, if we're going with streetwise, it's going to be that kind of bar. And
I mean,
by that I mean
say-
it's gonna be an MC bar. it's gonna be tough customers.
Oh, it could be investigation, I guess.
Sure, investigation works. Okay, what kind of job do you want? Do you want to get?
I want to help out a local up and coming band. Help them around. Get their audio stuff set up in for the gigs. Tour around the local area. I haven't got a van at the moment, but I am working on it. Some of them might know me from my previous work. I'm a cool guy.
Yeah. Okay. Investigation, manipulation.
Come on. Don't tell me I need 5 years experience just to get the bottom level job. Come on. Get the job, you need to have done the job. All right, where's the thing? Yeah, no bonuses or minuses. Oh no. What? No,
Oh,
wait, that's wrong.
so
That's
yeah,
I
you
have
can.
I have messed that up. I apologize. I tried to roll 2 of my stats at the same time there. Apologies. I'll re-roll that. You can apply a minus if need be. Don't need to. I'm still shit.
Abysmal. Okay.
But you know what?
Just-
This is
I hope
reflective
we
of real
start
life.
rolling better when the angel shows up. Is all I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't use my angel.
I think
for
this is
getting
quite
shot.
appropriate because obviously we're obviously like angels of action previously. So in the previous
Yeah.
one, when it comes to like kicking down doors, taking names and shooting people, we're all over it. As soon as we've got to do mundane tasks like using a computer or like
job.
getting a job, we are rubbish at it.
Yeah.
I imagine we walk in and we're like, yes, I have come here seeking the gainful employment that you
I have the many
people
skills that you desire.
That's it.
I'm just looking if you can.
You know what you should do, Matthew. See if you can get some sort of bonus by going to apply for a job in a bar that's like in a really like multicultural district, and then just be like, oh, you've got this ethnicity of customers. I can speak the language.
I speak every language.
You got this group because
Man,
I speak
I
all
should
the
have thought about
languages.
being a translator, shouldn't I? That would have been funny. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, but you're playing your cover, right?
But I was just giving a cover, you know what I mean? Like
That's
this
right.
is what I know.
That's right.
Yeah. So I couldn't quickly find what it says about assistance, but you can roll an additional die. I'll look it up later what it actually means,
Yeah.
but because you've got some connections because of Wash's cover here.
I appreciate the help.
We do what we can.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
I'm really trying here, bro.
So I with that I'll say that you've got one. There's a dive bar in the outskirts of South Downtown, and it is in fact a bar
Etchy.
which yeah you would maybe not describe as on the level.
Man. These don't look like legit dudes, but
Unlike
Gotta-
us,
I gotta
the
eat.
people.
Do you know what it is? It's because I haven't got a van. I need to get a van. Once I had a van,
Mhm.
then they'll be like, oh, he's got his own transportation. Gotta try and get a van.
Okay, so you're skipping the dive bar.
I'm gonna give them a maybe.
Yeah,
I just
they've
don't
heard
know
that
if
before.
I just don't know if musically we are compatible when I find out. Oh, like you guys. Oh, that's some very politically charged music you've got there. Oof. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was line dancing, but
Politically charged
Yeah.
on this game stream? No.
Okay, so you continue your search, I presume.
Yeah, so I guess I'll try and get some references.
Yep. Okay, good.
But I will message Mr. Street.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what cover he's currently using at the where I message
Who do you
you.
need killing?
No, I'll message you in.
I'm just joking. Calm down.
I'll message you in like an East German kind of. It's German, but like a East German slang, a little bit to it. Pre Berlin Wall fall. Just ask the vans we noticed earlier in the day. Were they registered to the transportation department, like the?
You get a response back in Slavic saying the vans had no registration details within the system whatsoever. For all intents and purposes, they did not exist.
And I'll say back. So, if one was to borrow one, no one would miss it. Correct?
Correct in principle. However, we do not know if they're being tracked. Advise caution. I'm currently on way to rendezvous with Wash. If you require assistance, let me know.
do like the idea of a side quest of just
But because not to like float my own boat, but I do have a speciality in hot wiring vehicles.
I'll return. I'll return message in Filipino. Oh, actually, maybe that might not be the correct term for the language. And say, how do you feel like stealing one of the God Machine's own vans and then palming it off to get a beat up normal van?
Okay, so I'll ask you for your location, then sort of because I've seen the map, eidetic memory map of Seattle.
Yep.
Where he is now, if I was to divert to go to where Nightingale is, how far out of my way would it take me? Like, how much would it delay me getting to Wash?
You're muted.
So completely the opposite direction. You're going north, and Nightingale is in the south. So.
Okay, so I'll send one back saying, happy to assist at a future point. Unfortunately, I'm heading in the opposite direction at the moment, and Wash's Wash's message was urgent.
Do you require me to attend to the issue Wash has?
It certainly wouldn't hurt.
Okay. Is there any bars in that area? Question mark.
Unsure. I can tell you if there's soup kitchens in the area.
It's okay. I'll figure it out.
Is this in the group chat or your own chat that you're saying all this, by the way?
This is the talking chat. This is the.
This is our
This
group
is the-
chat.
This is our Demon Circle WhatsApp group.
Then I'll
Demon
jump-
teams.
I'll jump in at that point and be like, it's Central Seattle. Of course, there's bars.
Yeah. There's bars a go.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna maintain my cover just by going in a few, putting the word out. I'm looking for, I'm a guy who can help a band out, and then I'm making my way towards them. I'm trying to, I've only got this one skin. I gotta make sure it doesn't tarnish.
And now, as you said, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get to where Wash is because I'm going on foot. Now, as we spoke about previously, with me wanting to get into like the whole pact malarkey, and the sort of ideas I floated about previously, if there are like any soup kitchens on the way, or any sort of homeless shelters or anything like that, I'm basically going to be on the lookout for someone who identifies themselves as like a homeless veteran or someone who has some sort of like combat experience.
You know what? Actually, that's a great point because I'm waiting for everyone at this point.
Yeah.
And just standing around. So I mean, I think I'll drop into my Maria cover and see if I can't, get any nibbles in a bar. I mean, if I know Nightingale, he's gonna pop into a bar anyway, looking for work, right? So I might as well, kill two birds with one stone. So, but I'll allow Street to take the charge on our first pact rolls because we've never done this before.
Yeah, we've never done this before, and I did not have the time to get the actual handout ready. So we're gonna do this the old
Live!
Freestyle!
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
God damn it! I'll write it. I'll do it live.
Okay. So
We're gonna do it the
very
death
first
rattle
thing
way.
is to get someone who's willing to do this.
Yep.
So to find an individual like this,
If I need to, by the way, I'll use my embed that allows me to locate a specific type of person.
yeah, that would be the one. That would be the one. Also, if you guys, no, that was just Street actually. Let me look at your thing here. Okay, so you needed to have spent another ether to put your demon form back in.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
So two altogether.
Two in total. Boom. Done.
Yeah. Okay, so use your special someone who's I suppose you go into a soup kitchen and you say,
Okay.
I want to find me a veteran.
Let me just make the roll, because if I'm off the roll like my previous ones, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter what I'm looking for, does it? I'm going to use a willpower, because why not?
Yeah.
In it ever once. Oh, one success.
Hmm.
I'll take that.
Okay, so you.
So yeah, so basically, it can't be too specific, but you can find people with like specific virtues and vices, skills, occupations, stuff like that. So I'm basically looking for someone who has combat experience, but also has like pain or trauma they want to forget connected with that.
Yep.
Because that's going to be
So
my selling point. Like, oh, you know, I can make all this like pain and all these horrible nightmares and everything go away for you. Just
yep.
sign it out.
So it's going to be like a traumatized combat vet.
That's fine.
Yep.
Because yeah, I'm basically going to say like, I'll do the whole thing where I'm like, oh yeah, I know the feeling. I'll be able. I've got some combat experience myself, so I'll be able to like sort of pass off that, you know, oh yeah, I sort of served and then I got booted out, and now look at me, I'm this grotty old like homeless man. I know loads of people I served with where the only reason they couldn't get their lives back together is they couldn't like forget what had happened. But I found this way where like you can just make all of that go away with like very little effort, and like I've been trying to like help out like my brothers and sisters, you know, to like do my like civic duty. That's why I'm still here in like these soup kitchens. I'm trying to like help other people out.
Yep.
And then the basic again, I'm not really up on the sort of pact thing. The basically what I want to do is take their trauma and their combat experience and graft it onto my old man of the woods cover.
Okay, so let's delve into the pact thing here. Okay, here we go. So it is somewhat involved, but it is not as complex as it might sound. The thing with the book is it's all spelled out in prose. So what I
Yes.
would eventually do when I get the time, and I'm not swamped with work, maybe during my vacation, I'll get a handout with the actual details of it and no prose, so that we can quickly do it. So
Skimming it just now was a nightmare trying to find actual real info
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of all that
yeah.
prose.
I have a way to go about this because I did go through this earlier, but it's still in prose.
I mean, I'm going very generally, and like I say, I'm sort of going on what I remember from it is like the benefits. The benefits to him are he's going to be relieved of these traumatic memories. The benefits to me, and potentially if I can do it as well, any sort of minor injuries or whatever that he sustained as a result of his combat experience. And the benefits to me are I'm going to get that combat experience grafted onto my. So it's like, oh yeah, you'll lose your combat experience, but you'll also lose all the horrible memories and trauma associated with it,
So
and the
I'm going
injuries.
I'm going to say you use your embed. You basically you tap into reality to find the specific combination of traits in an individual present here. And
I'm not going to lie, I mainly took that embed because I was like, that'd be useful for making pacts.
yeah, and it is incredibly useful for anything really, because you can just be like, I need a person like this, and then there it is.
So that's why you should come to me, like Nightingale, if you want to get a job, because I can just be like, where's the person who runs a bar who's most desperate for any sort of employee?
Yeah, lacking for staff.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Unfortunately, you're the demon that I have known the least, I suppose. So still figuring out your deal.
That's fine.
So I'm going to say you find your way to talking, because we're gonna montage this.
Yeah, of course.
We might going forward, especially talking about soul pact, which this is not, because you're talking about his specific events, not his whole soul.
Yeah.
Specifically for soul pacts, we might want to role play it out a little bit more, but
Yeah,
we're going to
like I
montage
said,
this now.
I'm just looking to boost my cover a bit. I'm not looking to craft an entirely new one.
You're just looking for a fun night, not to commit.
I'm looking for a bit of a cheeky like combat boost. Is what I'm looking for.
So you find
And his potential ability to like kill people without really worrying about it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the justification that you need for reality to be slightly more lenient towards
Exactly,
murder.
yeah. Because I'm like, right, okay, I'm obviously going to be the person who's shooting people. If reality could like cut me some slack when it comes to that, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull out a name for you here. Okay. So you find yourself an individual who, this is information you've accrued as you talk. So there's a man there in his he's going to be in his 60s now, early 60s, getting on a bit, long in the tooth, called Adam Aspidov. I'll put that in chat. Thick Russian accent, and having investigated this about him through dialogue, he appears to be a veteran of the Soviet-Afghan War in the late 80s. He's since become a U.S. citizen, moved over here, but he's down on his luck, probably weighed down by the weight that he's been carrying around since that conflict. So he's a veteran of that war specifically, and let's see. You're offering him the benefit of being relieved of these terrible things related to the war.
Yeah, I mean, I'd effectively like to offer him like a greater benefit.
Okay.
As the classification goes.
So grant someone a 5-dot merit they do not already possess, or increase existing merits. Resources.
So what I'd like to do, if effectively the way I'm sort of seeing it is, I don't know what level of dots sort of like curing him of his ills and removing his memory, because effectively I'm removing the memories for me. That's not really a benefit for him. But if I need to, it says you can give him like 5 dots or something. Oh, you want to get your life back together, mate? Do you? Boom, 5 dots of resources or whatever.
Yeah, boom.
Yep, that's an easy thing to do. Like, give me your war experience, including all the bad shit.
Also, I would like your accent.
Yeah. There's a reason other than just wanting to include like different conflicts from history that I don't usually see represented. There's also the fact that I know that you probably enjoy the accent. Okay, so you're offering him a lot of riches and relief from the trauma, and he will give you. Okay, this is where we need to figure out the balance here. So you're looking to make this a permanent thing, or
yeah, I'm basically looking to improve my cover rating by 1, and then if I can get some cheeky XP to like bung a bit of extra like shooty or fighty experience on that cover.
That's almost like 2 deals or 2 levels of the same kind of deal. So it's like a big, like a big old pact, because basically that's what the cover section does for us. It gives us either experience or at the greatest level enough experience to buy 1 dot of cover outright. So
so permanent is 3, so you're currently in balance. He's getting a lot of shit, riches, and you're getting a permanent pact.
Yep.
But we also need to get you benefits from this. So are we looking at a greater benefit for you?
Yes,
on page 193?
Preferably, yeah. I've already got it up.
Okay, so patch enlarge. Yeah, this does track, because for him, being a person who was in this war is a large part of who he is. It's also one of the reasons why he's doing poorly, because he was kind of devastated by the war.
And also I like the fact that by like taking this thing according to reality, I'm now like an ex-Soviet service like veteran. Yeah.
But you're currently like you made some moves afterwards. You became an American citizen.
Yeah.
But like your life is shit.
That's fine. My cover's life was already wrecked anyway. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can work on that later.
Yeah. So
just you become a homeless guy and a Russian together.
Yeah. Eventually,
he's a naturalized Russian operative basically now.
Is it wasn't like a like a GRU like Spec Ops dude. It's like a infantry sergeant.
Yeah, it's just like a veteran from the infantry who moved to the US, became
not
a citizen.
Spetsnaz or anything like that.
No, a Spetsnaz would be good. I mean that's a wonderful cover to have. Like if you can get like a CIA dude to sign a soul pact, that's the good shit.
Yeah, it gets juicy from there.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking at is +3 on your side. Let me figure out what this does. Where does it say?
Means there's more experience, willpower cost to seal the deal.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, it costs more for you to.
So if
will
they're
them.
equal, then obviously it's 1-to-1. It just costs 1 point. But
Yeah.
anything that's disequal in, I think, in their direction.
Yeah. So if I'm remembering this correct, what it does is you and you're drafting this on what? You need a document base to write this thing out because it needs to be a physical thing.
It'll be but basically it'll be like an unfolded like cigarette packet.
Yeah.
So I've like folded it all out, and I'll have written it on it.
So you're writing on this, and you need to have him read it, and I don't think he takes you seriously at all, especially
as long as he signs it. That's fine.
Because the cigarette pack is really like, oh yeah, you're full of shit. But
I'll be like, look at it the way I sort of explain it. I'll be like, well, look at it this way: if I'm full of shit and you sign it, and you're no worse off than you are now. If, however, I'm not full of shit, you could stand to benefit. What have you got to lose?
Yeah, no, he's. I don't think he actually realizes what he's doing because you're ridiculous. With
Understanding is not necessary. Only compliance.
Yes, obey. You learned well at the feet of the master. So you need to spend 1 dot. You need to burn 1 whole dot of willpower to make the pact exist, and you need to spend 2 points because you're in balance in the in the weight of the pact, if I'm not mistaken, because you're 3 over their value.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, so you burn 1 dot, spend 2 points, and you can write the pact and get him to write it as well because he doesn't think it's real because you're writing it on a cigarette pack. And I do think it takes. I'm looking to see if I don't think this is like if there's rolls, they happen before when you're trying to hunt down the victim and also convince them to do the thing. So the thing is, it's an act of will rather than chance at this point because you already found your victim. So I think that's probably it. So what happens then is, if you get the permanent benefit, and it's going to be a patch-in of so this level of pact can actually increase a demon's cover rating by 1 outright.
Sweet.
So
FYI, I'm sorry, I hate to jump in here, but I think the permanent dot expenditure is for the soul packs only. I believe otherwise it's just normal willpower. Willpower spends. But I'm looking at page 191, and again, you have to dig through 6 paragraphs to try to see that. But soul packs require greater investment on part of the demon.
Yes.
Blah 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 blah.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think unless it's a soul, which makes sense obviously because you're trading your will for their soul essentially.
So you can recover the dot, spend 3,
okay, cool.
and then spend 3 points, and then that's it.
Lovely.
So if you want, you can increase the cover rating of your existing cover.
I very much do want
the one that you patched this into.
Yeah, that's 2 dots for Morgan.
So in effect, what we have just done is we have created a it's going to be interesting for them anyway, but we have created a new very wealthy man in Seattle, and
oh yeah, because you gave him basically like 5 dots of resources. Right? Some random dude on the street.
And who is no longer burdened by his traumatic past and all the
also he's potentially no longer a US citizen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, he is currently, I think he doesn't have a citizenship, so he's gonna need to deal with that.
He has the money now to deal with it, actually. So
what I mean?
Just buy papers.
Seriously, papers are cheap.
So we will write down. You didn't buy his name, so he is still Adam Aspidov. But he is, I guess he's gonna have some soul searching to do. He lost a bit. of who he is there. But we have created Adam Aspidov to Seattle with a lot of resources. So we're going to have to find out what happens to him later on. I'll make a note.
Make a note of that shit.
There you go. And since we were talking about V5 earlier, I'll now give my character the surname Ivanovich.
Nice.
Because like you say, I've not taken his name, but
Yep. You have his citizenship.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've got his citizenship, which would be like, oh, your ex like Russian applying.
Actually,
so-
it could really come in handy for us if we ever needed to like do a job over like. You know, we're not that far from Russia.
No, it's
coast-wise, right?
Other
Like,
side of the sea. It's not that far.
yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah. So what happened there is, just to put context to all this, demons can write pacts which adjust individual variables in reality. So what just happened is Mr. Street did not create an independent, wealthy individual. What Mr. Street was doing is adjust the variables to do with Mr. Aspidov, which is he could not be a veteran of the Soviet-Afghan War. It's entirely possible that he would never have gone there, so he didn't now. So that variable has been adjusted as such. And he also has the inherent potential to be rich because money exists in the world. It's just not in his bank account. But now it is, because somewhere a rich guy died without an heir, and the money goes into Mr. Aspidov's bank account.
Okay, so looking at this, it says that I can get 3 XP from my cover.
Which page?
On 193, the greater pacts.
Yeah, exactly. It's enough experience to either buy a dot of cover outright or just use it on something else if you choose to. Not
Right.
use the
Yeah.
cover
So
rating.
we can do if you want the XP, you can just have the 3 XP.
How much do skills cost?
Let me bring up the thing because I now have experience costs. 2.
Okay. In which point, what I'll do is I'll use the thing to buy up the cover, and then if it's all right at the end of this session, because I've got enough XP, I'll use that to justify like buying up like firearms or something.
Yeah.
To represent that I've got this increased knowledge, but obviously that won't kick in straight away because I can't spend the XP until the end of the session. So I presume.
I think you can. I think you can because it's a little bit different here because you are actually, it's not you developing anything. You're literally taking like gunsmanship and eating it.
You basically have absorbed it into yourself, so I might as well apply it
Right,
now.
yeah, I'll buy up a dot firearms, and I've increased my cover to 2. Like, don't be expecting me to spend any willpower for the next like period of time, guys.
Yeah, because that was a big
Because that ship has sailed to Russia.
Yeah, we went for a long voyage. That one.
That's it.
Okay, so that was a thing that we just did. So being aware of the time here, what do we want to engage with next?
Well, I know that at least I wanted to sort of begin to maybe suss out some usual suspects for packs on my side of it. But I'm happy to do a roll for that now and play it out next time a little bit more if we need to, because obviously we're coming up on time here. So
we can also do that in like between sessions.
I'm happy to do that as well if we want. Yeah, that's fine.
So we can put that to the side. We'll roll for it.
Besides,
afterwards.
that way we can figure out how this works even more smoothly.
Yeah, better than just like.
Because the thing is, what I'm not understanding at the moment, having read it as you guys were working it out, is how, because obviously it says in the book specifically, demons tend to make lopsided deals. I.e., we get more benefit than we spend on doing the deal, but then the numbers get so high on our side, like in terms of like we want duration and all this. I don't see how you can even it up with the mortal side of it, or unless you take really like very small deals and lots of chunks. And that seems like it would get very bookkeepy very quickly. Like
you can it's I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing, but you can even that out by just giving them multiple benefits.
Right. Okay. That's the only way you have to do it. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, but then it's like, if I want like, what he just did, for example, I got to give them the freaking moon, like it's, but you don't want it to be that balance. You want them to have to spend more than you spend. So I don't ever see how you could spend less than than you're giving them by, you know what I mean? Like, it always seems like it'd be unequal to the demon side of the deal. You know what I'm saying? Numbers wise.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure where their logic in the pros is coming from.
There's a lot of consideration that goes into, and I don't think they really they do talk about it, but they could maybe reinforce it a little bit more, that it's one thing to balance out the numbers, and then it's an entirely separate thing, like whether this person would even consider these numbers to begin with.
Right.
So the thing here is with Aspidov is he's exactly the kind of victim that demons want.
Yes.
Because he is weak and he is downtrodden. So when you walk in and you're like, I can take your pain away and I'll give you money, they're like, well, fuck, man. Like, give me that shit. You do that to someone who already has 5 dots of resources, they're going to be like, nah, I'm good. Like, what else do you got? And there's consideration for what kind of pacts these people would take. And you get good, unbalanced pacts with people who have nothing to lose, really, is the thing. But I'm not sure we were talking about the same thing here. But that's something that I sort of picked up from the text there. Anyway, for the last bit of this, what do we want to do? Shall we meet at the
Yeah, I say we should. I should say that, like, obviously we could do the rolling and all the stuff for my little
we can
excursion.
Do that
we can do that later. But we could just all meet up, and then that could probably be the end of it at this stage.
Yeah. Okay. So timey-wimey, and you are in, I guess, a central Seattle bar, perhaps close to where the radio station is.
It should be very near where I can maybe even see it if possible.
Yeah. Okay. So you're sat there with drinks, and you're good to go. Whatever it is you want to do.
Thanks for coming, guys. Took you long enough.
I was looking at prospective employment.
Did you talk to Jimmy?
Industry's cutthroat,
I know. Did you talk to Jimmy though?
Yeah, he said he'd have a look for me, but I guess maybe he was intimidated just because how handsome I am, or
yes, I'm sure that's what it was.
He didn't believe that I knew you. He said he'd get back to me.
I will have a talk with Jimmy.
It's all right, man. It's because I had my last van on a loan, and I had to give it up. My last gig ended, and I need to get my own one. But me and Street are working on something.
Well, of course you let me know if I can help. Well, anyway, so I decided after everything last night to do a little sniffing around.
And what did you find?
I love the accent this morning.
Was I with you when you made that pact? Or was that just
probably not?
Okay, I just a slight raising of the eyebrow, and then.
But someone in that building has a smell to them of our old friends variety. I can't be sure what they are, but they aren't entirely, and I point to the human customers milling about the room. So I think we should go in there.
He's what you'd call extra.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Extra. we got someone that's extra in that radio station. So we need to go in there, I think, and we need to
So watch
suss
out
out
for
if
the ones that are
that's.
lit. They're the real dangerous ones. You know, we're talking the same language here.
Yeah. I just think I understand. But yes, we should go in there.
Well, given the pattern that we were looking at earlier, either our friends are building a large project or several large projects.
Yes.
I'm not
It's
quite
both.
sure how they involve the radio station, though.
I think it's possible. It's more likely that the radio station is saying things that they don't want said. Not that these people are ever going to wake up and see what's in front of them, but if even a few of them do, that's variables to be scrubbed. Yes.
It's probably
Indeed.
just not the kind of Seattle they want to build now.
Yeah.
I think at the very
Right.
least we should check out the location and work
Who
out
knows?
any,
Maybe
any
we'll
possible.
find someone that's on our team in there. I don't know.
Indeed, we should certainly look at any potential ways that this attack could take place if we decide that we need to stop it.
Well, since clearly Nightingale's the most attractive one, maybe perhaps he should take lead. It is a radio station, after all. He could say that he's looking for a gig, working with their audio equipment,
That is true. It makes sense for your cover.
and I can tag along. I can pretend to be your paramour. I believe it's the term that the humans use.
I always thought I'd have a red head, but you know.
Take what you can get. That's the motto.
Beggars can't be choosers.
That's a great band name.
There's just one packed away.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I could definitely do that. I was going to ask you guys something. I sort of
Yeah.
like, obviously, I kind of crab up, you know, my knees on the chair, kind of close in, you know, and one of the things that our friend said, he said quite emphatically, nail.
Yes.
I've been thinking about that, like, you know, like I thought I maybe felt like a biblical term, you know, like nails on the cross, or like, you know, a nail, like construction work, but maybe it's more of a explosive nature.
What, like a nail bomb?
Isn't that what the terrorists do?
Exactly, maybe that's what it is. They're just trying
Well,
to masquerade as it.
I think
Okay.
at this. Oh, I apologize. What am I calling you now?
Morgan.
Same then. Okay, just checking. I was simply going to add that
You sound different when you're not drunk.
I think there's a little more to it than that, Mr. Nightingale. But
What was this?
I was simply going to say that we have a lot of pieces, but not the full picture. So we should try to keep them discreet and focus on the task at hand. We do know that there is possibly another lead, more information, another clue inside that building. We should have to go in there and
If
extract it.
I kind of look a little nervous. You sort of see me sort of like start to perspire a little bit. I'm guessing covers can perspire even in demon. When you're a demon.
Oh yeah, it's physically a human
Yeah,
in every way.
I could try and get us an extra piece of the puzzle, but again, there are consequences.
I found what you mentioned about the nail interesting, but the only reason I think that is maybe not the case because he also mentioned lots of other things, shovels,
Yeah.
tarmac, asphalt. Terrorists, they do not make bombs from these things.
It's all in here. So if we discover more information, we can perhaps gain an even more clear picture of what's happening. But for now, I think perhaps, Mr. Streets, you should maybe take a look at the building. You have an eye for these sorts of things when it comes to the attacking. So perhaps you could see perhaps what the best advantages and angles for that would be.
That is true. This I can do. After all, I cannot enter the building with the two of you, given my appearance and the fact I smell like a motorcycle exhaust pipe.
It is lovely, but yes, I don't think they would appreciate it inside a radio station.
You looked into the guys with the vans, right? Not those vans, but the the guys who own the buses and things, right?
The transport ministry.
Yeah. Was there any plans of like I don't know, like a tunnel or an underground freeway or something in this area?
It wasn't mentioned. I'm assuming not, Johannes.
There are tunnels in Seattle. Possibly some of these new constructions involve tunnels as well.
So yeah, so I'll spiel off for you the details of like any
Yeah.
Do they
construction
want
that's
to
near
build a
tunnels.
tunnel into the
Is
station? I
that
don't know.
they are covering the greater metro area, and it gets hilly towards the east. So
As Wash said, though, we have many pieces and we do not have the overall view of the whole. But I suggest we go with his plan of the two of you going in the building and scoping out the interior, and I will look around outside and look for angles of attack.
We should go and get you gainfully employed, darling. At least I think that's
I do need
how
to
they do it here.
I need the music in my life, man, and it's not the
Hmm.
same. Live music, you should try it. You should try it sometime. Bring one of yourselves with you.
I do work at a bar.
Yeah, but listen, not work. You know what I mean? Like, come feel it.
I feel plenty, don't worry. Humans aren't all wrong-headed about the things that they make.
Just that jukebox that you have in there. It hasn't. It's never been changed.
Well, it's not on me to change it. It's what the clientele are for.
I'm going to go and start checking out the building.
You know, smoke
Yes.
on the water sounds
Shall
like some
we?
kind of old
Shall
nice
we, darling?
cologne. Okay, fine. Just be cool, okay?
I am cool.
I am ice, baby.
Yeah.
So the plan is Street is going to remain on the street, and Nightingale and Wash are going to go in and try and get into the radio.
Right.
Station?
Yeah, we're gonna be. I think the idea is to pitch him looking for work, but obviously we want to find the man in question. And I have thoughts and ways of going about that as Maria if I need to kind of break off. And hey, I might have even more experience to do it before then as Maria, because we're gonna do some stuff off camera.
Yeah. So, in the interest of time, jumping ahead. So you're heading in. It's the top floor of the apartment building. So there's a thing on the as you go into the elevator. If you use the elevator, there's stairs as well. But
Oh, we
there's
need stairs.
there's like a plaque for KLCF 66.5, like top floor. So you go there. There's a couple of these like larger sort of business suits up here that they rent out, and there's one which is there's nothing on the door, and then there's the other one which has the KLCF logo on it. So yeah, you know where to go. You're at the door of the station itself. You gonna go in, do your like looking for work shtick.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're
Right. So
happening right here, then let's pair us on. Then yeah.
So you open the door. It is revealed there's a working space. There's a lot of equipment goes with broadcasting. You can see the sort of soundproof studio bit is built into the back with windows. You can clearly see what's going on in there. There's the sort of broadcasting place. There's a couple of workstations with computers out here. There's a like a separate room. Looks like an office, like a separate office walled off, closed door, plaque on the door. And there is 3 people currently in the room working on their workstations, their computers. And however you guys, and let's talk about this a bit, how do each of you, Wash and Nightingale, how do you experience ether? And let's define ether. So ether is not the fuel of the God Machine. God Machine uses the actual fuel, which is essence, the pure spiritual power. And ether is the exhaust gas.
It's like the
of that.
runoff. Mhm.
And so how do you experience this? Because you do right now. There's examples, like every demon might do it differently. You might smell copper in the air. You might see things like a mist or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's particularly concentrated, the way Wash would see it is a sort of a silvery mist with sort of a blue luminosity to it, kind of just drifting around. I would smell it, and it would smell like clean laundry, fresh out of like the dryer, or something is equally pure. Like. Freshly clean babies and things of that nature.
So yeah, lavender just smashes you in the face. Nightingale.
For me, it will be, I actually hear kind of music, and it's sort of it's not always comprehensible as to why that particular sound is in that place, but it can be like a sound of a drum beat. It can then shift to something like an orchestral thing, like the planet Mars, like a rising intensity if it's a strong location. It can also, if I'm near some kind of supernatural place that's also nearby, sometimes it become distorted and be like kind of, almost hearing it through a synthesizer.
Yeah.
Reverb.
So you hear a distant melody as you open the door and Wash, clean laundry. This place is clearly infrastructure. These people are clearly a part of the infrastructure. You can tell. You're not sure what kind it is or what's happening here. You know that these people are components of this infrastructure that you've just opened the door into. So this is a part of the God Machine. You don't know exactly the details, but at least these people are parts of it. Probably the broadcasting station as well, and in the back.
And we can sense that immediately.
You can immediately tell. Oh, I'm getting ether, and you can recognize instinctively infrastructure when you actually come into contact with it, and you just walked into.
Nervous gesture. I try and light a cigarette, then I realize it's probably not going to fly in this place, so I just kind of.
Yeah.
Now, darling, no smoking indoors. That's the law. Remember?
You hear that?
So it looks like a very hip, young, fun workplace. There's 3 people inside, 2 ladies and this younger guy.
Bullshit place where it has like a free yogurt dispenser or something.
Yeah, and kickball tournament.
Foosball table in the corner.
They've got 2 women in the room and this young lad that you saw earlier, Mr. Wash. Sorry, you're who? Who are you now?
Well, I'm currently as Maria.
Maria. So Maria, you saw this guy earlier, wafting of ether in the street.
The guy that I'm seeing now that I'm in here, can I tell if he's simply just a cog in the infrastructure, or
he's a part of the infrastructure. Okay. You can't tell outright if he's supernatural, but there's nothing to outright.
Right, I forget that we can't tell that.
Yeah.
Can't even tell it with each other.
But like everything about this reads currently as young people working a dumb shit radio station about conspiracies.
And
young
that
hip crowd
makes it, like, in Wash's mind, makes even less sense now, because, and this kind of goes back to the reason that they fell in the first place, is that the God Machine doesn't seem to be making any sense anymore. It's like, why plow through their own infrastructure in some terrorist attack? It could simply just change it. It could just simply move it. It could do any number of different solutions.
Mate, I have theories, but
I mean, this is what I'm thinking. Obviously, right now, and obviously, it's.
I'm gonna make introductions. Try and do the fist bump. Be all high energy.
So the guy gets up and is like, "Oh, hi. Did we schedule a meeting?" Like points at the the other two in the room and like walks
No,
towards you.
we don't have an official meeting, but I knew you wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to meet me. It's
Oh
the
no,
perfect.
we're all about opportunities here at
Exactly, that's what I
Gale's,
heard.
yeah.
That's what I'm here.
We've
Toby
heard
Green.
you're very open-minded here.
Yeah, shake the hand, bump it. You know, like do
Yeah.
the.
So you do the whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, Toby Green. Who am I talking to?
Zach Kavanagh.
Zach,
relative
I
new
like
res-
it. Z-Man.
Z-Man, thanks. Yeah, all the cool people call me Z-Man. Can I just glance at Wash?
Yes,
I
yes,
thought,
darling.
you know, I thought,
Z-Man.
you know, I thought I'd pop in. I love what you guys are doing. You really put the truth out there, getting people, you know, cutting through all the bullshit that's out there,
Fuck
all
yeah,
the
man.
misinformation, all the white noise, and you're getting right to the heart of things.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I wanted to really take part in this fantastic place, this beacon of truth and justice, and hopefully maybe
Like,
work for you.
Gail,
Maybe
Gail,
maybe
are you getting this? We can use this for marketing.
Gail, Zach,
Get-
that should
get-
be you.
Gail, please.
Well, you have to understand, Z-Man here is great at self-promotion and promotion in general, but he's even better with audio radio equipment.
Yeah.
Well, you might call him an expert in the field even.
I'm a real
yeah?
pull you up by your bootstraps kind of guy. I haven't been to, you know, I haven't wasted years of my life at some school. I've learned these things by myself. I'm a real go-getter. I know a way around these machines. I know my way around audio. I can hear the music before.
And I can attest to this because I work. Do you know the Sour Patch down in Soto?
I think we might have passed through on a pub crawl.
It's a great place if you haven't been there recently. We have some really choice new items on the menu. You should come check us out. But anyway, he's done several of our shows, and when he's working the mix, our live shows sound they might as well be down at the stadium. I mean, they sound that good.
Man.
But what are we talking? We're talking like guest DJ spots.
I mean, certainly he could perform that function for you as well.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm I wouldn't put myself on a pedestal to say that I'm the musician who can just.
Darling, you're being modest.
But
he has an ear for these things.
But I can certainly work around. You know, if you need a man, a sound man, an editor, a guy needs to fix these machines. I even know that model number right there.
Right. Well, we've got Lexi, our production tech. She's basically built all this to our spec, so we're kind of good on that front. But like, if you want to do a guest DJ spot, or if I get that music is your thing, because you know, art and shit.
Yeah. Music should be everybody's thing. It's a gift.
We got.
It opens your mind.
You know, the other side of the programming here is the truth, man, and
you can't handle the truth.
Well, around here we like to think we can. So if you got some truth bombs you want to drop on the waves.
Oh, I don't know. I think we could find some truth bombs. We hear lots of strange things in our line of work.
Well, that's exactly what we're gonna hear. So, I mean, we're kind of busy today. We got a whole big show to do in the evening. So we're kind of. Can I take your number and we'll schedule a meeting. Yeah. So like I said, Toby Green. I'm one of the hosts. Gail Vega, my hosting partner. We've got Lexi. Points out into the room. Lexi's like, "Hi."
Awesome. Any chance I could get a tour of the studio and that? I just you know, big fan. I won't be in trouble.
I mean, I guess, you know, but I
want to see where the truth comes from, and I want to see the
truth comes from, you know, the people, as we know, and of course, Francesca does a lot of our, you know, investigative stuff, and
is she here right now? Oh, that sounds like a great opportunity.
So you know that the plaque on the door of the walled off office says Francesca Miller. There's lights out, so clearly not there. And Toby says, "Oh no, Francesca is not here. She telecommutes from the Big Apple.
Oh.
Because we're like a modern thing.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
not like
Yeah.
the 9 to 5, have to wear a
Sure.
suit.
Of course not.
Joke on corporate bullshit. Like we don't want any of that. And
Not gonna
Francesca
find the truth that way.
no, that's the opposite of truth, man. But yeah, if you want to step in and take a look at the studio, I guess that's fine. But like any collab we do, we're gonna have to run it by Francesca. But she's for the truth. So if you've got some truth bombs or DJ sets, we can probably hook you up with a time.
Well, that
Definitely
sounds
interested.
great. Honey, leave your number. Let's not
Will
take
do.
up any
I
of
mean,
these
the
fine
number,
people
it is a
time.
Spanish number, but I just travel a lot. Okay, don't worry about that.
Oh, I mean, I like burritos. 'Cause that
Yeah,
is-
that's pretty nice.
Ex-
Of the weather.
Yes,
But he's-
burritos. They're delightful. They're the only thing that
Okay.
Latino
Yeah.
culture's ever produced in this country.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, and he looks just about as clueless as he sounds on this very topic.
So I've got two questions for you, Grand Cogmaster.
Mhm.
These embeds that we have, do they always have a visual cue? Can someone tell that I'm using them?
No,
They
it
pretty much
says
don't
what it does
mostly,
on the thing.
Okay.
So
So
if
as
Embeds
they-
are basically the subtle ones.
As
Yeah.
they're giving me the tour, I want to take a few moments, if I can,
Mhm.
to use one of my embeds to try and help us get to the crux of what's going on.
Mhm.
And I'm going to use willpower on this because if I mess it up, I'm in deep shit.
Mhm. I will also say that
Do not
having,
offer me a dramatic failure because I will not take that. Not in this case.
well, I was just about to offer you a dramatic failure.
No. Mate, you should read what happens with dramatic fail on this ability. It's
I have.
bad. It's so bad.
I've also read what happens if because this is something that we haven't touched on at all yet, really. Another huge part of the mechanical network of this game, your ciphers. Okay, so you've all got your first keys
Yeah.
Indeed.
picked out. I have some of your next steps along the cipher path
Okay.
figured out. Now, how do you get more info on what to do next? If you
Use the-
gain
use the embed, don't
XP
you?
in scenes that have to do with angels, the God Machine,
Yes.
or anything related to these things, you reflexively roll, and we can do a couple of reflex rolls for the first session because we didn't, and there
Okay,
were
okay.
some failures, so we'll deal with that after the game.
Yes,
But-
there were.
So this is just to point out for you guys, you are in infrastructure right now. This is God Machine.
That's why I'm doing
the
this.
God Machine is here, in fact, and
He
if
is
you
Mr.
gain
Green.
XP here, you can reflexively roll to get more info on your cipher. So if you want to trigger a dramatic failure, you get XP, you get cipher knowledge potentially.
Yeah, but if I fail this, an angel
Yeah, you get fucked.
an angel immediately comes to get me.
Yeah, it does. It
Oh,
does.
maybe that's not such a bad
No,
thing,
Wash,
though.
no, you
Maybe that's
can't
not so bad. I have hearts. It's on my list. I have a heart I need to eat.
Not here,
Fine.
not now.
I'm hungry.
We need. This is
Hungry for
not.
hearts.
This is not a battleground.
I'm so
failed
gonna laugh
performance.
if this roll fails now after this build.
I have a quick question in the regards to what's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Can we just, as a quick reminder, because I'm not looking at it in front of me, either by page number or just how we can do it.
Yeah.
How can we gain XP again? It's by session, by failures, by completing conditions or relieving
Yeah.
conditions.
Aspirations.
Aspirations. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Unfortunately, I don't think any of my. Oh wait, no wait. Actually, there is a possibility here, and it goes in line with what I want to do anyway. Okay, so
Don't phone Agent Smith and be go. I'm here.
Just pick up a random phone. It's like, God Machine.
Hey, God
I'm
Machine,
here.
you
Come
listening?
pick me up.
Can you come? Because I.
Come get me, bitch.
No, because one of mine is I want to reveal the agents of the God Machine, and we just discovered infrastructure number one. Oh no, that was sort of from last week's one, so I don't have that one anymore. Yeah, fuck. Because the only one I could really do is eat angel hearts or strengthen my cover, and I don't think I can do that here. Right
I
now,
think
so.
the Angel Heart is potentially also a good movie, by the way. But it's maybe a bit of a long-term project.
It's slightly longer term, right?
Angels do be tough.
Yeah, but I want this particular angel, and I want him dead.
He
Well,
is
anyway.
keen to fight one.
Yeah. So let's see if he gets to Nightingale.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus.
so
There we go.
as you predicted, you saw where I was going with this. I'm going to attempt to use voice of the machine.
Mhm.
Oh,
Listen
As you
to
do.
this sounds terrible.
Yeah, I can. Basically gives you a clue or information relevant to
Right.
what you're trying to do. Figure out. It's wits and crafts.
Mhm.
Please, and I'm going to use willpower. So I get a bonus of 3. Is it like mummy?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
get-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use willpower because I don't want to have an angel just turn up and be like,
What's up, bro?
What up, Z-Man?
"What up?"
I hope it goes up and says that too.
What's good, dog?
Waiting with anticipation.
Me too. Come on.
0 success. No.
God,
Oh, there you go.
there was a lot of ones in that.
You're lucky you spent that willpower, actually, eh?
That was well. Because I was like, if he offers me a dramatic failure, that's just going to be mean. Because the failure is bad. It's far worse than what John had last session. It is.
I only got
basically-
glitched from that, I think. Yeah. So having an
So-
angel
So
shot's
if you
kind of worse.
dramatically fail with this, I have to make a cover roll at -5, and an angel comes to get me.
Wow. None of that's good.
Yeah, it's not good. And so the angel might or might not be capable of dealing with the demon, but the demon gains the known condition.
Mm-hmm.
So the god machine knows where he is and will send agents to follow him. So like get Shrek'd. So
Z's
you
staying
succeed.
on the down low. He's staying under the radar, stealth bomber style, bro.
Still underground, yeah. So
He
the
drops some
demon
truth
listens to
bombs in the future.
the demon listens to the voice of the god machine and gains some hint as to the machine's plans in the area or some useful bit of information. This information is at the storyteller's discretion, but might be worth at most a +3 modifier to roll when it becomes relevant. This embed serves as a useful way to move the plot along. However, yeah, okay. So basically, it's plot info or actionable, bonus thing. So I think you pick up. Well, you do pick up. There's no question. The voice of the god machine, and that's something that doesn't happen to you at all anymore. Because you are severed, in fact, from the god machine.
I'm a closed network now. I'm just me.
And this is quite the thing. This is you tapping into what used to be, and that's why it's dangerous, because you're using the same landline that you used to all in the back in the day, and you're listening to the thoughts of God. not a great idea at the best of times, but
it's a risk.
You listen to the binary liturgies that you pick up from the air around you, and you gain an understanding of what this infrastructure does. This is, and what its purpose is. This is concealment infrastructure. This thing, this mechanism here is built to hide something, and you also figure out kind of why and how that is. So the way that it functions is it spews out ridiculous shit into the airwaves so that it blankets people's minds enough that when something actually happens, you can just smooth over that. It's a blanket that has been pre-thrown on to whatever might happen in the future.
It's one of the propaganda machines of.
Yeah, they spew out shit so that people think any further shit is going to be bullshit anyway.
Right.
So they're manufacturing horse shit to fill people's minds so that people actually figure out that it's horse shit and no longer believe in incredulous
that no
stuff.
one can perceive.
So like these guys produce enough Bigfoot stuff that people are like never going to believe in Bigfoot when Bigfoot actually turns up. So that's their function. That's what these people do here. You haven't found the linchpin yet, and linchpin is the thing that holds the infrastructure together. So whatever this, let's get the terminology down. So the output is the disbelief in the supernatural. The occult mechanism is the horseshit radio programming that they produce, the incredulous stories. The infrastructure is the people and the broadcasting equipment here. You haven't found the linchpin, which is the thing that makes all of this work. Yes, you haven't spotted that, and you know that you can if you look at it, but you haven't seen it.
Yeah, because it's Francine or whatever it is, probably.
Francesca.
She's not here. Or Francesca, yeah. Yeah.
But you haven't. It's not like it's like an office space. You haven't been into the one locked off room, which has the Francesca Miller on the door and lights out. But so far you don't see the linchpin here. But you basically figured out everything else about this.
Would he? So I'm not sure if this is like appropriate or not, but would not. Well, I mean, Wash would know at least all of that information. Like he wouldn't know what he's learned about this place, but the basics of how infrastructure works.
All of you understand how infrastructure works.
So, assumingly, if he fills me in on this,
I will once we
step out, right? Then would I know that if he went back in there, would he be able to identify the linchpin later, or does it have to be now?
No, you can identify the linchpin when you see it. There's no other.
Okay, so basically, unless we had anything else pressing we wanted to do in the office, what I was going to suggest is that when we step outside of it, that we need to. Wash is going to suggest that we need to manufacture a way to get everyone out of that office so that you can go back inside to check for the linchpin to see if it's in there or if it's
a person, not just a thing.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be, but it wasn't any of these people.
Yeah. So I want to verify a theory, a hunch, basically. And the only place we haven't seen is inside the closed office, right? So pretty much that's the one thing I want to double check before we do anything. So like, is there like a fire alarm that we can pull or something? Maybe we can just manufacture like a right. Okay, so I think we should hide in a closet or like a bathroom or something like that, and pull the fire alarm, and then watch as the people stream out, and we stream right back in real quick.
I don't think that's a problem. Street, there's a fire alarm now.
Okay.
There's people coming out.
Can I text him to give him a brief?
Yeah, give him a heads up at least.
I'm gonna text you in Mandarin and just be like, Wash has operation about to go off. Do not be alarmed. We will alert you if we need assistance. Stand steadfast.
Understood.
Yeah. He didn't say it in Russian, but it felt Russian.
How can something feel Russian on
I don't know.
these glowing boxes these humans use to communicate with each other? Oh, whatever. Anyway. So have they left yet?
People evacuate. The street, you're mobbed by everyone in the building.
All right, let's hurry. Come on.
Yeah. So you're in the empty office space. What do you do?
No one else around?
No, not as you can see.
I'm gonna kick that yogurt dispenser over just on principle.
Okay, so
what
yogurt
is that
station
for?
Destroyed.
Do you have some vendetta against yogurt? It's very delicious.
Needs to be stopped, okay?
Just check in the office, will you, for the linchpin, please? Honestly.
Okay.
Can't take you anywhere.
Okay, door's locked. Francesca Miller, again, lights out, so can't really tell, and it's walls. So
I believe, I mean, I could give it a go with crafts if you would let that happen. Otherwise, I think, I don't have larceny, unfortunately. I should probably invest in that in the future, at least with this cover. I mean, I'll give it a go. Lockpicking the door. We obviously don't want to actually, breaking one of these doors is actually kind of easy as long as you have basically like a butter knife and enough force against the interior doors are not very.
No,
I don't know
So-
if there's like a thing as a luck roll in this or like a chance thing. But
There
if there's
is,
a
but I
fire
mean-
alarm, possibly it would have automatically unlocked all the doors to let people out.
I
not
will
these
say
kinds of
that
doors, right?
greater forces have influenced the state of this door's lock, and it has not automatically locked in
Okay.
your favor, unlocked in
Oh,
your favor.
Okay, well, I will go ahead and make. I'll try to give it a roll of. What do you want? Dexterity crafts, maybe.
That sounds fine.
Okay, cool. It's actually not too bad of a fool for me then. Bit right. 1 second. Clickety, clickety, clickety. And hit the button then, right? Submit. Oh, 1 success. There you go.
Okay, so with a 1 success, yeah, you get it open, but there's marks on the thing because we didn't use the actual,
Yeah, obviously.
you're not a lock picker, and
Yeah, I need to invest in that in the future.
yeah, you kind of like and
Yeah.
and it's open.
I do it the brute force way. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so you get it open. Inside, dark, unlit office room with a Spartan table, similar looking chair. There's desktop screen. There's a desktop unit under the table. There's a rack of server on the wall, and you can tell that the it's a little bit nested, but the linchpin you can see is some manner of program / algorithm currently running on the desktop unit. So the linchpin is not the servers, it is not the desktop tower, it is the actual code running on the desktop unit, which is you see in real time as there's text appears. It's like, local man finds skeleton buried in backyard, skull elongated, ancient aliens ?
Oh, he's
And
doing that
it's
black,
so
black background and green text thing. Oh, that's
and you can see like in real time there's a pop-up of like a stock skull picture, and you see the picture start to be photo manipulated with the
So
skull
this is
elongated.
Francine, basically, is what I'm getting from this. Like Francine's
not
not a
a
real
reason.
person. It's an algorithm. Okay. Oh, I don't think there ever was a Francine. I think this is Francine.
Do we destroy it? We should
Well,
destroy it. I want to
Yeah,
destroy
but
it.
do you know how to destroy an algorithm? I mean,
I mean, I go with the traditional human approach of brute force.
smash this whole place and hope it does the job. Well,
But
what it,
it's
but
probably going to
that-
have unintended
but
consequences.
that also then doesn't answer our question about why the God Machine wants to destroy their own concealment infrastructure. It seems to be doing its job perfectly well, unless it's been co-opted by one of us somehow.
I have a theory. That it's the attack is to reinforce this thing's ability. Like someone
Yes,
attacks this
that
place
does
for
make
speaking the
sense.
truth.
That does make more sense than just complete irrationality. Although that shows I don't know.
They were punished for speaking the truth. I mean, that could be wrong.
Yeah,
That's-
well, all right. Well, let's debate the finer points of the God Machine mentality later. If we can sort out why this is happening, we can always come back later and take out this place ourselves or co-opt it for our own needs. But for now, I think we should get out of here before everyone comes back.
Absolutely.
Okay, are we leaving?
Yeah, I'm going to try to leave the building at this stage. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a look at that computer. Like, I'm gonna shoot it to pieces, but I'm gonna go.
Okay, are we doing something here? Maybe using voice of the machine and failing, perhaps dramatically.
No, I'm good. Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me
Be
from.
Frodo.
Yeah. Okay. So I suppose we end this session on you guys coming out of the building and sort of disappearing into the street with Mr. Street in tow.
You know what? I just as an added like flavor, like to sort of mask ourselves. I'll have got us like some of the really like brightly coloured kind of garish t-shirts and hats and stuff, of the station, so we can look like we work there or we're like, You know, where people in the building were supposed to be there. So,
So
no.
you stole some merch.
And I like to think as we walk away and like the camera fades to black, you just hear my character going, "Why is your foot covered in yogurt?"
Very good.
Sometimes you've got to take a stand.
In yogurt.
Yogurt seemed perfectly delicious to me.
Thanks very much for running that, man. Very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Right,
Right.
I'll end the stream here then.